Hey everybody, welcome to the Dawson Show. I'm excited to talk to you today because we just got back from Miami, Florida, where we were working with dozens of business owners who have been growing and trying to build their business for years. And there was one common thing that we were able to identify with each and every business owner, and that is why they struggle with breakthroughs, growing to the next level of success. Think about what a breakthrough is. When you've achieved your goals or you've achieved something and you're struggling to get to the next level, and that difficulty in the middle of all that struggle will either reinforce your belief that you can break through, or it will establish a belief that you cannot break through. And what I found interesting, or what I find interesting in the business I'm in, is that with the hundreds of business owners across dozens of verticals, they all have the same issue when it comes to breakthroughs. And that is, they establish, based on their own reference points, based on their historical behavior and success and results, they establish this false ceiling, and they create this false narrative in their mind about what can be done and how hard it is to break through those glass ceilings. So I want to talk a little bit about this because we've had 5 or 6 months now where business owners have come into our program and they've worked with us, and they've recognized we were able to show them through the process we go through on our 10X 360 program. We were able to show them a process to make and create the breakthrough. If it's a person or a people or a systems or just a false belief that's stopping their ability, or a granular, different way to try to do something versus the way they were trying to do it, like a different approach. So helping people understand this is why you've run up against this false ceiling. These are the reasons that you created this false belief. And then this is the false narrative that you keep telling yourself and the people around you. Like when you have a new employee who's got a new idea or a great idea, and you're like, hey, we tried that before, it didn't work. Well, did it not work because you didn't execute right? Did it not work because you didn't empower your team and inspire them and align them with the goal? Did it not work because it was just a flawed idea? Like when you start breaking down why something that was tried that did not work actually didn't work, you find, generally speaking, that it's because it's poor execution or lack of clarity, understanding, and awareness on how to exactly do this. In fact, I'm going to be answering a business with Brandon from a business owner who's struggling getting their people to do the things necessary to grow the business to the next level without them getting pulled back into every decision, every thought, every action, so they can't scale beyond themselves. So I'm going to talk about that with Business with Brandon. But here's the thing. If you have an objective, if you have an opportunity, if you have someplace, something that you can create, and yet the people you surround yourself with don't contextually understand what the opportunity is, what they need to do to contribute to it, how multiple people contribute to each other in the process of contributing to it, thus amplifying and magnifying the impact of what you're trying to create or the opportunity you're going after, then people get lost in the people equation, or the lack of information equation, or the lack of knowledge and awareness or experience. And so what happens is when you start shaking all your people around and you have them doing a bunch of random things, everything gets tougher than when it was just you doing it. So here's the topic of today. What are the 3 things, the 3 ways that you as a business owner, and this is true for employees. Look, I know plenty of employees who have glass ceilings. They create their own belief, their own reality about what they can and cannot accomplish inside of a business, and they create this false narrative about what they can or can't do inside the business, how much they can make, how much authority they get, who's in charge, what kind of decisions they can make. The reality here is that as human beings, we create these glass ceilings. There's so many phenomenal examples of people who broke through those glass ceilings and did remarkable things. Well, it takes three things, three choices. And these aren't just choices for business owners. These are the same choices individuals need to make in order to propel their life to the next level of success. The first choice is this: show up. Show up in an environment where someone is trying to help you understand or change your point of reference or your thinking about what can be done. Find somebody who's talking about something that you can hold out as an example to you, and then make the commitment to show up. Now, sometimes you can just show up by paying for a webinar. Sometimes you can show up by reading a book. Sometimes you can show up. Look, this morning I shot an Insta story on a specific subject, and I no more hung up or turned off my phone when it rang, and I thought, I wonder who's calling me. So I answered. It was some dude that watched my story that I've never met across the country that said he just watched my story. It inspired him what I said. It immediately struck a chord. And look, I was in the Starbucks line. We talked for 5 minutes, and he asked me, what are the best resources I could go to that you've created to help me change my mindset to find this kind of success? Hey, look, I didn't even know. Maybe if I'd saw the call come in and I knew it was someone I didn't know, maybe I wouldn't have answered, but he got me on the line. That takes showing up. Action. You have to do something. So if you don't show up either by reading a book, listening to podcasts, watching Instagram, watching Facebook, going to seminars, going to meetings, watching webcasts, going to associate, whatever it needs to be to show up. But here's the thing. Not only do you have to show up, but you have to know what you're looking for. See, the magic in incremental growth, Jim Collins talks about this all the time, innovation, incremental growth, improving something that already works and making it much more impactful, much more better, innovating to success, right? When you innovate and you find success, and this is as an individual or this is as a business owner, or as a leader in a business, when you innovate and you find success, it increases your belief, your confidence about your ability to do it again. Once you start solving problems through innovation and finding success, you create the belief structure of yourself and the people around you that that's how you incrementally grow, by thinking about how to solve a problem, taking action to solve that problem, and then getting a result that's better than the result you had before. As an individual or as a business owner or as a leader in a business, that's how you innovate to success. So what are the three things? A, you got to show up. And I defined what showing up looks like. 2, you have to know exactly what you're looking for. What specific problem are you trying to solve? Is it a people problem? Is it an economic problem? Is it a lack of funding problem? Is it a lack of market problem? Is it what is it? What are you trying to solve? And the only way you can do that is by really looking at the details, understanding the details of the problem you're trying to solve so you can relate to what information you're looking for at a granular level, because it's the golden nuggets. It's not one huge thing that transforms your business. It's the total sum of all the little things that you do to innovate through and with your team that transforms your business or transforms your personal life if you're an individual. So you don't have to try to go from 0 to 100 overnight. You just got to create the conditions, the mindset, and put yourself in play to look for solutions to solve problems in order to grow to the next level of success. And when you learn how to do that, you're actually programming yourself with a methodology that allows you to understand contextually how to move forward, right? It's not some magic thing, and you're not going to do it by sitting on a couch, on your ass, not reading, not listening, not paying attention, not doing something that's looking to solve problems, okay? So the second thing is you got to know what you're looking for. You got to have an open mind. You have to be aware enough about what's going on around you, what you're struggling with, in order to say, what can I find with whom that can help me solve this little problem so I can learn to solve problems. And then the third thing is you have to act. Action with intent. This is what Grant talks about in the 10X rule. Massive action. See, the more activity you put into something, the more you train yourself to try to solve problems, not just slugging it out, but trying to innovate incrementally, getting better every single day. The next time you do something, bigger, better, faster, get a better result, change up how you say something, change up how you do something, change up how you engage somebody, just paying attention to those incremental changes and doing it with intentionality to see if you can get a better result. That is how you move from where you're at to where you want to be as a business owner, as a business leader, or as a human being who wants to improve. Now, I use this dancing with the stars analogy all the time. And for those of you that listen to my podcast, it's going on right now. Think about it. Watch one of those shows. Just don't watch it for the entertainment value. This is what I'm talking about. Like program your mind to ask the right kinds of questions. And here's what I want you to do on one of these shows. I want you to watch it not for the entertainment value, but for the value of thinking about what questions you should ask that determines a contestant to go from the first show to winning the last show. I'll give you an example, like, there has to be discipline. I'll bet you that the people that show up and practice the most and listen to their coach the most probably can find success faster. Let's see, dietary issues. Do you think that maybe they're on some kind of regimen so they have the right kind of energy and the right kind of strength when they need it? Let's see, maybe stylist. Do you think that there's a stylist that's showing them what to wear and coordinating their clothing and their color patterns and making it consistent with whatever their theme is that they're dancing to? There's an idea. Oh, there's a theme that they're dancing to. Oh, that theme has a certain kind of clothing that goes with it. Oh, that theme has a certain kind of regiment that goes with it. I wonder if the theme in my business is to create better customer engagement. If I'm choreographing, oh, there's another word that they probably do on the show. They choreograph every single move. I want you to think about these kind of words, and I want you then to apply them to your life. So instead of dancing with the stars, your way of applying this is escalating, elevating in the workforce, or growing your business to the next level of success, or growing your team to the next level of success. So it doesn't matter if you're an individual, if you're a leader in an organization, or if you're the business owners. How have you taken those words, and I only used a few of them that you could be thinking about while you're watching Dancing with the Stars, and then taking a piece of paper and writing those words down, and then asking yourself the question, how well have I choreographed my team? How well have I coordinated our message of the day or of the week or of the month or of the year with our actual execution so that it's consistent? See, the audience would not appreciate a specific kind of routine if the song was relative to one thing and the dress was completely relative to something else. Like, would it make sense to do a 70s Bee Gees song wearing clothes for a country song? Like, it probably wouldn't make sense, right? You'd go like, hey, that's kind of weird. They're wearing cowboy hats, cowboy boots. They're doing cowboy moves, but yet they're doing it to a Bee Gees song. Like, So ask yourself, does that sound like something I'm doing in my business, or some way I'm leading my team, or some way I'm trying to grow personally inside of a company? So if you watch the next episode with Dancing with the Stars through the lens of what are all the elements that allow people that are not naturally dancers to be able to escalate on the show in order to win, and write all those elements down and then use those elements as reference points for how you are conducting yourself or operationalizing your business or weaponizing your team to give them all the tools, the best tools, everything, so they can go out and succeed. So like the Dancing with the Stars analogy, first you got to show up. Those people on Dancing with the Stars had to show up. They had to be willing to commit, even if they looked foolish or looked funny or looked goofy. They are so far out of their comfort zone, but they had to choose to be willing to do that and show up, or they wouldn't be on the show, right? That's so obvious. The second thing is they had to understand that they were committed and willing to do this. Like they had to know what they were trying and wanting to accomplish in order for them to show up. They had to have awareness and understanding, and they had to think about it. They had to make a conscious choice. And then third, they had to take action. If you take action and you have the right coaches and you have the right process and you have the right stylists, then you have an opportunity to succeed. So here's the question for you. If you're running a business and you want every one of your employees to be on the final episode, vying to win Employee of the Year, the biggest compliment you could give an employee for showing up every day and trusting you and working with you. And if that was your challenge, that was your 12-month challenge, you have to create an Employee of the Year. And what are all the elements from stylist to exercise routine, conditioning routine, stretching routine, choreographing their every move, making sure that the message is tied into the activities so that it's logical for people who are encountering you, making sure that they understand the messaging, making sure they understand what they need to do to be prepared and ready to go, practice, drill, practice, rehearse, go back and study the tapes. Like watch the next session, the next show, Dancing with the Stars, and ask yourself, if you're a business owner, if you're a leader, or if you're a participant as an employee, ask yourself, how am I personally empowering and inspiring myself to think this way in where I'm working or the business I'm running or the business I'm responsible for managing? How well have you constructed your own opportunity for the future? And here's a hint. If you're an employee and you figure that out, you could really help business owners, which then means you elevate your overall career because people want to work with self-thinking problem solvers that have good thinking. That's not a commodity in the world. There's not a lot of that going on. There's so many people, like Gallup poll, out of 100 million people, 2/3 of them said they're checked out or they're intentionally checked out and maybe even harming the business. Only 1/3 are actively involved. So if you're an individual thinking, how do I get ahead in life? How do I go somewhere and create a huge impact? How do I make a lot more money? Watch Dancing with the Stars. Or if you're a business owner or a leader, watch the next episode with Dancing with the Stars and highlight all the intentionality, all the methodology, all the discipline, all the action that put people in a place where they can try to win to go to the next level. What are those elements? And then ask yourself the question as a human being, business owner, business leader, or employee. How intentional are you preparing yourself for every day when you show up at work to pursue your personal, professional, and financial lives with the same level of intentionality that those participants on Dancing with the Stars are going through in order to try to win the show? And then we'll have something to talk about. Thank you for joining me on the B. Dawson Show.